What's good, my credit fiends? Today we is fiending for that credit, and we need to hide our credit cards from being, you know what I'm saying? We need to hide all of that. So if you're trying to hide your credit card balances, this is exactly how you're going to do that, because your credit card balances being too high can mess up your whole credit score. It can mess up your utilization that you need to keep at least under 30%, or 10% to 0%. But really, having a high balance in your credit card can really mess you up. All right, so this is how you're going to be able to hide that, so that way your credit score can go up. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't already know, there's two sides to your credit profile, right? So there's your like your credit utilization, right? Your credit utilization. And then there's the other side. That's number one. And then there's the other side where it's just basically your loans. So these loans are basically going to be saw at as the things that you're paying each month. So I forget the exact word that they use or whatever, but it's basically like a reoccurring payments or something like that. I forget the exact word, but there's a word for it. So essentially, there's credit utilization, and then there's your loans. All you have to do is take your credit, right, and move it down here. It's as simple as that. So how do you do that? How do you move your credit from here to there? Well, one thing that you can do under here is get a personal loan. Or there's other things that you can get as well. There, again, forget exactly the name of there's a specific name for it. All right. There's personal loans, and then there's also these cards, right? There's also cards that work like they're credit cards, but they're actually personal loans. Okay. So this is called, I figured it out. Cards that are a line of credit. So these credit lines are going to work very differently than this one does, okay, than your regular credit cards do. One, because you're not going to have like a minimum payment, okay? There's going to be obviously like your monthly payment or whatever that you have here because it's a loan, but it's not going to be the same like right here where you're paying a minimum payment and then it takes you 25 years to pay that off. This is going to be fixed. So even if you use a loan card, like there's a company called Upgrade that has these, right? They have different kinds of them, and you'll have an interest rate, all of that stuff, but you're going to have a way higher payment because it's going to calculate what it's going to take for you to pay that within like a couple of years. So it'll be like 5 years. It'll automatically schedule out all your payments for 5 years, right? And it'll divide it up, and then that's what you'll pay monthly on your line of credit. So you can use it as a credit card, but then it turns into, it's actually under this part. So don't forget, if you want to go ahead and hide your credit utilization, right, to make your credit score go up, like what you're doing on your everyday purchases, don't forget about these personal loans and these lines of credit that you can get on the card. Like I said, Upgrade is a really good one. That's who I went through before I have 2 lines of credit through them right now. So I can go ahead and use it like a credit card, but it's really on the loan side. So it's not really going to affect my credit score in such a negative way. They're not going to see it as that way because these are payments that you're making every single month. And so normally when you see credit, right, and you see credit utilization being high or something, they automatically assume that you're using it for purchases that are just nonsense, okay? Like credit card spending. Credit card debt is technically bad debt. But when you come over to the loan side, since it's financed out, it just makes a whole lot different, okay? In their eyes, it's a completely different thing. In our eyes, it's the same thing. We're still using the same type of money. We're still using the same money, blah, blah, blah. But in their eyes, it's completely different. So that's how you can make your credit score way better. That's why you see all these people, like if you have bad credit or something like that, they'll say a debt consolidation loan. And then it helps your credit, right? Because you're taking all of that debt that was on your credit cards and you're moving it over. You're doing like a transfer. You're transferring it all over to this other side, which is the loan. So you would get like a personal loan, and it's a debt consolidation loan, and it'll remove that. You'll see your credit score fly through the roof because credit utilization is one of the biggest things besides payment history, credit utilization. So that's how you can go ahead and hide that and finesse the system, right? Because let's say you had like a 50% over here and you move all that over to here. Well, now you have that free too. So now you get to restart up here. So you can either go again, start making your payments to zero out your card so you can pay your balances in full, and you'll still have a really great credit score because you moved it over here. It's the same amount of debt, same exact thing, but it's just from one side to the other side. Hey, look, we fiending for that credit now, y'all. I'm telling you. And the more you do this type of stuff, they're going to give you more on this personal loan side. Now, I got to make a video about that, though. But the personal loans can go real crazy out here. I mean, I've been approved for personal loans past 30,000, but, you know, you gotta work your way up. I'll tell you guys in another video how you can go ahead and do that. But this is the way to go. Also, your credit utilization, I mean, you don't necessarily have to go over here and hide it. You can raise that. So go check out my last video on how you can get a higher limit on your next approval. So that way you can boost your credit utilization and it'll help your credit score go up because now you're using less of that available credit because you just added a new card, right? And it's got a high balance. So go watch that video. It's really going to help you out. And that's why you need high limits, because credit utilization, you won't have to go through and hide all this stuff. All right, we fiending for that credit, y'all. Come on, stop playing with your boy.